Hello, my body bears, and welcome to Not Supposed to Wake Talk here on the 6th of March. Right,
What's that?
my joint panelist this evening is Miss Noma Divine. So you're getting a wee Vesta special, aren't you?
Oh, you're getting double whammy.
Right, and we've got a wee special guest now. As you may know, we invite the eliminated queens from Glasgow's Drag Race TikTok on to talk about why they think they were eliminated and what they were going to do going forward. Give them a wee opportunity to sort of like fight their case and say what they think. That
So we've invited Michelle McManus.
no, we have. That's what we should have done instead. We should just get Big Michelle on. Unfortunately, one of the queens who was in the bottom decided that they weren't happy with that. And if you go on my TikTok, you'll see my response to them not being happy to be in the bottom. So they decided just to spit the dummy out, but we'll talk about that later, and no longer compete in the competition. There was a lip sync, the other queen, the bottom lip synced against a last minute entry. Both of them were saved, and we'll be going on to next week. And one of the other contestants went, see, she doesn't want to talk about it, I'll go on and talk about it. So we are joined by the youngest contestant in the Glasgow TikTok Drag Race, Miss Candy. So we couldn't get sugar, so we'll have to settle for a bit of candy. And if I press the right button, there we go. Hello, Candy, how you doing?
She's not there yet. Oh, there.
She's there, but she's muted herself. You're muted. I can't hear you. Right, press it again. Talk.
There. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Right, there we go.
That's better. How are you doing, Candy?
Well, I'm doing good, apart from some stuff, but I guess we'll get into that.
Right, now remember, those of you watching, you can ask us any questions you like within reason. And say hello to. So hello, Jackie, Lewis, and Dean. So far, you've sent a wee message. You were right off the bat there. I don't even think the title said finished before you were like, hiya. So it's lovely to see you. If you've got any major talking points, please put them in. I would ask you to try and refrain from swearing or being too rude in the comments during this.
I'm too young.
We have to be very careful. It is an adult-oriented show. It's not a family-friendly show. However, we do need to be a wee bit careful because we do have someone of a sensitive age, and I'm not talking about me.
I'm only 5 years old, so be respectful, guys.
And if he's 30 years older than that.
He's not that young, but closely. Oh, hello, Christopher. How are you? So, I'm going to ask Nomi first, because Nomi's like the outsider. Did you watch Glasgow's Drag Race TikTok last night, Nomi?
Yes, I did.
So what were your thoughts on it? Because I can't really give too much of an opinion this week, because...
Wait there, I need my ring.
I judge.
Yeah. So what did I think of it overall?
What do you think of it overall? Give me your thoughts on Glasgow's Drag Race on TikTok. So same way that we'll talk about season 13 in UK. What did you think of the hometown looks?
I thought overall it was good. I mean, as we said before, like Scotland's a hard one. Like when you go, like when they do it in America, they've got so many different states, and they can just do a state which is so known for one thing. But when you're narrowed down to like Scotland and then small towns, and then there's so many towns in Scotland that no one knows of. So you may know something from your hometown that's really famous, but it's a stab in the dark for the rest of us. And I mean, God knows I'm no seamstress, so I couldn't make a dress. I don't know it sounds shady. Did anyone else make a dress?
There was at least one homemade dress.
Whose?
Reese's. We assumed Reese's dress was homemade.
Well, I don't.
You now get me sort of think you're trying to go through them all. Whether any
you wouldn't buy it, would you?
I mean, the base dress was well made.
Oh, that was a joke.
The base dress was well made. So, well, I picked my winner. Who would your winner have been?
I don't know.
Do you want me to ask Candy who she thinks should have won and give you a second to think about it? So, Candy, apart from yourself, because that's just going to make it boring, who did you think was going to win?
Well, actually, at first, I thought Sugar was going to win because of, the whole nose and everything.
Wait to stir the fucking... Wait to stir the pot.
But properly, I thought Giza was going to win.
Really did. It was very close.
Yeah, I thought
Very
Giza was going to win. I thought it was really funny and really creative. With the poo on the shoulder, it's great.
It come. So it comes down to like who's your first and second choice to win, and the first and second choice for both of us was Angel and Giza, and it come down to Angel by a ball here. Literally by a ball here.
Angel's great. I really did think it was funny. But Giza should have won.
Nobody knows what I'm thinking about as well. There was other considerations taken into account with Giza not as much with Giza not winning. Angel deserved to win. Giza was very close to winning. It was almost a double win. However, Giza's was slightly predictable. Angel was a bit more exciting because we've got new information compared to Giza's susceptibility and a couple of makeup choices, although unintentional, could have been misinterpreted.
Yeah.
And it just we're not meant to have two winners anyway, and Angel got it just by the skin of her teeth. And
could you imagine 2 winners and 1 walks off on the 1 week?
I know.
RuPaul's Drag Race has nothing on this.
So already sort of said everything. Sugar spat the dummy out.
I must say, Giza's makeup was a lot better in the TikTok video because I watched your live and it was quite green, wasn't it? Last time, like really green. When you done a live, like the night before, but on the actual TikTok, it was a lot more bronzy and dark, and it was a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Like.
If we need to get younger people in all the time, I don't recognise that.
I know. I'm trying to leave the sugar thing to the end before we talk about going into too much detail about sort of sugar. So, there any other most sorts of know me as an outsider? Was there any other looks that particularly impressed you or didn't impress you?
I did like the football look because it was a very theatrical camp. Like the base of it was very drag and over the top and big sleeves. We nearly seen it on the live when we saw the pulling up the sleeve.
Yeah.
But I walked in halfway through a conversation before this started about this look, didn't I?
Maybe. Okay.
I did like it,
Yeah,
it's like I think all the looks overall, it was that you had a very well constructed dress which you had bought, which was most of them. They'd added things on. Some may have just had something easier to stick on that just looked cleaner at the final lap of the race. Some of them just looked cleaner.
Look, for me, it was a football pitch, There's 101 football pitches all over the country.
And
Yeah.
I have no idea where that hometown is. I have no idea where that is.
It's where Hampden Stadium is.
I know that now.
You've got where Charlie stays.
I
You
thought
also know where Charlie stays.
I thought Hampden was in London.
That's
Hampden Court.
Hampden
not
Court.
London?
Hampden.
See, I got
It's
confused.
Hampton.
See, I'm a wee bit slow.
Yeah, Hamptons in America, I think, is it not? The Hamptons.
There's that as well.
It's over the hill from where Charlie stays, basically.
Right. That was also the problem. So many are from Glasgow.
Right,
And so many of the little towns that aren't really known for a major thing. Some of them are, some aren't.
When I first got basically what the challenge was, it said that you were each to do a Glasgow scheme. So I was expecting there to be a Castle Milk, a Mary Hill, a Queen's Park, Apostle Park, Mary Hill, and all that. And then it became the hometown, and then suddenly like, you could do the whole of Glasgow. I'm going, what, do the whole of Glasgow? I wanted to see someone like zoom in, and no one did do the whole of Glasgow because the Glasgow looks were either as part of Glasgow or city centre. So that was
so
good.
it's changed. So did it change 3 times? Glasgow schemes to feel like Glasgow to hometown.
I don't think it actually changed. I think it was just in terms of the interpretation. So the information I got was hometown look, show off your best Glasgow scheme, show off the best sort of scheme you're from or something. But then that obviously didn't apply to people like Gary, who's from Wishaw, Angel, who's from Kirkintilloch.
I feel sorry for both of them.
Ayrshire.
That's even worse.
Was anyone else outside of Glasgow? I think that was the only theatre outside of Glasgow. So
Cambuslang. Was I from Cambuslang?
Sorry, I went from Cambuslang. Because that comes under Lanarkshire. So yeah, like I think they all did really well to an extent. Well, they did. I mean, you can't expect everything to be wonderful.
Especially when it's
mainly new queens on a limited budget in the middle of a flaming pandemic.
And you've just done a design challenge the week before.
I think it was harder because obviously in the actual show in America or whatever, they have like different like cities and all that. But obviously we don't. So it's kind of like, okay, is someone gonna do Mary Hill or so? Like it's just kind of, it's hard to think of an original sort of idea, and I don't know, it was just quite difficult. But I think we all done well.
Like we all did. Like Angel was informed. It was clearly something that was unique to Kirkintilloch. It's where phone boxes are made.
She came out a phone box.
Dressed as a phone box. Giza Gobbo did an iconic Glasgow statue. It's synonymous with a lot of like Glasgow City Council. Well, for the hassle Glasgow City Council give about the cone on top of the Duke of Wellington, Glasgow City Council are via Glasgow Life actually make merchandise of the Duke of Wellington with the cone in his head and sell it in Glasgow museums. Now, so for all their years of trying to get rid of the cone and all that, they literally make merchandise of it now. Oh, hello, James. Bonnie Banks did the Borgewell.
Is that the dog?
Which is clear, sort of like Cambuslang. The fact that the plaque was actually on with the poem from the plaque. But I'm going to answer right. Dean won. This is me. I was actually judging, so I do. This is me. Because I wanted to make the critique quick. This is them getting a full. James, we move on to Drag Race UK later on. We're still in Glasgow Drag Race.
It's a whole other drama.
I know. It's going to be a fun night. I'm missing someone from the. Who am I missing in between?
How can you
Gary
forget you
King.
watched it?
I know.
King.
Gary King.
If
did
he didn't meant your
whistle.
sound,
What?
he meant your sound's giving a lot of feedback.
All right, okay. Right, give me a minute.
I think overall, all the looks were good. Some of them were either overall within the video, taking the context of what songs you picked and how you cut it was great. Some were cleaner looks. Some had a better idea, but maybe weren't executed as well. But had a great idea and we knew exactly what it was, but maybe could have been polished up a wee bit more. But
Yeah, for
after that,
example,
song was
for
like,
Bonnie, I loved Bonnie's because on the plaque she actually had mushrooms around it, and I thought it was really like it stayed true
I mean,
to
like, the idea was great, and the idea of what her execution was going to be was great. It's just like it needed tidied up a wee bit. It was a plaque hot glued onto a tube dress.
Yeah, but compared to some of the looks. Reese made as far as we're aware, made that dress himself, and it looked really good. Saved himself by writing Yoka Swan on the dress.
I didn't do
that. In general, I think I and the other judge would have marked you down for just writing the place on the outfit. What saved him from the bottom was the two we put in the bottom, we said didn't really scream what their hometown was. We couldn't really put Reese in the bottom with the critique. It doesn't really scream what your hometown is when she literally spelled it out.
But then I'm thinking to myself, did she do that because the dress didn't really?
Yeah,
Probably.
I think it's next week's a new week, new judges. My personal advice would be very careful. If you were having the same judges, be very careful. I would say with this kind of teeth, and to my knowledge, out of everyone in that competition, Reese is the most experienced, especially at competitions. So, although you're all been judged fairly and the same, I think there is a higher standard expected.
Also, advice. He's very well known for doing Kim Woodburn. Just saying.
Is that a spoiler for next weekend?
I don't know if he's doing it. He's done it a lot before. I'm just saying for the contestants watching, either know that you do it and you might do it really well because he does it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, we were all discussing this when we were doing Untucked, and I'm not obviously going to spoil anything, but Kim Woodburn wasn't mentioned, so.
Okay, like I don't know who any of you are doing. Normally, we ask the eliminated queen who they would have done. We can ask you who you're doing, but I sort of missed the point. I would say, I know it sounds like a big rant about negativity. The dress was really well made, but if I had not said Yoker Swan on it, just the dress of the swans in the bottom may not have made it. But you are all there for another week, and then our opinion only matters for that 1 week.
Yeah.
But it is the opinion that matters for that 1 week. If you don't agree with it, then check out my TikTok video. I don't know how to. If I knew how to send it from the phone to the computer, I would actually put it up on the screen.
Oh, it was amazing.
Wait a minute.
It was amazing. What did you do to that wig that you were wearing in it? Did you brush it out?
It's the same wig.
Or you've changed it? Because it looked like you were right. It looked like you were on a motorcycle and it was.
Aye. So I'd like brushed the wig and sort of like, I'm not going to say styled it, but I'd made it like semi-presentable looking. Did that one and then was like, I'm going to go change my wig, and then thought, can't be asked climbing up to get the wig down, right? And just sort of like started playing about with this. We went, oh fuck, I'll just turn this into a beehive and started pinning this one back.
What have I missed? Have we moved on in conversation?
No, really. No, so we've done Reese. Candy, which is you there, did a generic football pitch. It was just a football pitch.
There was many things I had thought about.
I would have liked
there
it to
was
be
a
more
lot.
specific, but you were safe. Just be more specific next time.
So when I watched the Facebook Live and I saw the makeup, and it was like Rangers and Celtic, that I expected like. Have you ever seen like the old panels where like she'll come out in a half Rangers, half Celtic outfit, either front or back or half and half? I thought you were a bit more around that line than picking a football pitch.
See, I'll be honest. See if you'd done the Panto Dame costume with the half and half, you'd have won. You would have won, on my opinion, because I would have found that amazing.
Yeah, we were all kind of talking about the whole Panto Dame sort of thing, like, because we were all looking at our outfits and being like, should we have done a sort of Panto-y?
No, not necessarily. That would only mean you still had Shireen. How the fuck? I don't want to forward. I want to download.
Download what?
A video that I've sent via Messenger. How do I then download it onto my computer?
Hold
That's the button.
No, we get
finger. So yeah, like I was looking for something, not necessarily a Panto Dame outfit, but for some little hometown. I would have loved to see someone come out as in a sort of like a castle dress with 2 Victorian milk churns to castle milk. You know what I mean? That's the idea. Or the Rangers and Celtic sort of Glasgow dress or something like that. One of the comments for one of the people, and it wasn't putting the critiques, and it wasn't putting the critiques for the specific reason is it would turn me into a hypocrite. One of the comments for someone, not by me, but by the other judge, was that the look was too theatrical.
Who's me?
As one of Scotland's finest pantomime dames and 1/3 of Scotland's premier theatrical drag troupe, I'm not going to critique you that your looks too theatrical.
Was it the look of the video?
It might have been the video, but it was like the comment that, because I got a list of like comments and I turned them into shit sandwiches, was too theatrical, and I'm like, I'm not saying that. I can't do a critique video going, you're too theatrical. Because that's what I'm like, looking for. But I think they were all, I would have liked to have seen, not necessarily that, but like I something like that would have been good for me to see. I hope that doesn't go to my play and just uploads. Doing something more like that, like elevating your looks to something that's clearly what it is. So if you went down the Panto route, that could have worked for you. Or similar. And especially if you were a size 18, if you were skinny bitches, then what's the fucking point? If you're a size 18, it's good enough quality. I'll take it for Christmas. I'm trying to think whether anything potentially
I would have
guys,
struggled.
but no, it wasn't Panto enough. It was, I think, guys was maybe the closest to something that was Panto-y, but not like a Panto prop costume, but not like Panto enough.
Because I would have said I would have struggled this week, like because I'm from Belsall, other than a theme park that's technically muddable.
You could have done a bell on a hill.
Tell me how you do that costume without it looking cheap and tacky.
You wear a big green ball gown, and then you make the top of it sort of like yellow and gold. So it's a bell on a hill. or a big green ball gown at the top, you wear a white shirt with a blue pinafore dress and a brown wig and a ponytail, reading a book.
In a week, they've got a green gown.
I know. The Vesta Girls had one for sale. I'm just saying. It's actually still for sale. So yeah, I think they all did well. I think it was unfortunate that it was 2 look challenges back to back. So next week's,
I think it was quite hard.
Part of it is a snatch game.
Yeah.
So what did you say, Candy? We missed it.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying, I think we all kind of found it a bit hard because obviously the previous challenge we had to make something. So for this one, we also kind of had to make something. So it was like 2 challenges where we were like, okay, right, stress.
Yeah, look, I can understand that, and it is difficult, and there's a lot of work that gets put in, which needs to be remembered. If there's people watching it that aren't judging it, even people that are sort of judging it, but you also need to be marked against each other. The main criteria for me was it had to be clear where you were doing. And I said, I don't know whether it's not in the TikTok video. I think it was on here last week. Where you did get a slight warning. I'm pretty sure it was, you went into a group chat saying, by the way, if he's talking about what she wants to see next week, and said, don't fucking come as an aide with a bottle of Buckfast.
That was one of my options. Because around here, it's just Ned's. So I was like, do I do that? And then when I got that information, I was like, oh, no, let's not do that.
Mainly because there's Neds everywhere. It didn't say a particular area of Glasgow, or even Glasgow in general. It just wasn't. I know she won with it in UK Drag Race, but it was a bit like Christina Mandela coming out in a Sauce jacket. Yes, it was East End of London, but it was also most major cities. However, both judges felt that one of the looks in no way represented the place that it was meant to be. That look was from where one of the judges is from, which may have made it easier or harder for it.
I get to the point. If I stop tapping,
but basically, Sugar Bowls' outfit, and overall was the bottom. The bottom. There was 3 other people who we discussed to put into the bottom with Sugar, which is fair enough. Everyone has a bad week. As we sort of said, the outfit didn't make sense for Ayrshire, especially when she'd done a great intro video to it, talking about Biffy Clyro, Burns, the Tunbury Lighthouse, Green and Beach, all these things, Robert the Bruce, and then come out as an Ayrshire cow. But she didn't come out as an Ayrshire cow. She came out as a Frisian cow with sepia tone over it, and then ripped her wig off to show her brain, which didn't make any sense, but whatever. It was creative and theatrical. So it didn't say Ayrshire. And no fucking... In no way was that look Ayrshire. Right? The choice of music was Copacabana. I don't understand why that was used. Which maybe that is why the Limited Queens should get the opportunity either to come on here like they're offered or elsewhere to explain what some of their choices were.
Yeah, but instead
the other 3 people,
TikTok.
The other 3 people that were possibly going to be in the bottom all had the sounds that they used matched what they were trying to portray. Whether that was they were dressed as a fairy and they used a sea shanty, whether they were dressed as a queen and used Queen of the Night, and whether they were dressed as a football pitch and used a football song. The sound fitted what they were doing. Copacabana didn't fit the cow, it didn't fit Ayrshire. The cow dress was not an Ayrshire cow dress, it was a Frisian cow that you put a sepia tone over the top of. So it was tan and black, not brown and white, which is an Ayrshire cow. And Sugar could very easily win the lip sync and carried on. You know what I mean? In the competition, had a wee bad week. Whether she agreed or disagreed or not, however, instead, Sugar decided to send messages in saying, refusing to lip sync. Although, sorry, offering to stay in the competition. I'll stay in the competition if you want, but I'm not lip syncing. Telling the judges that they had to reconsider
she said
someone else.
That she would happily, she said that she'd happily stay in the competition, but let one of the possibly chosen bottom queens to go in her place.
Yeah, do we know who she who she thinks deserves it more?
Yeah,
Was it?
Because we were,
But the video was already public. Even if it wasn't public, we weren't going to change our minds. Right? We weren't going to change our minds as to who was in the bottom. Right? However, if we were going to change our minds on who was in the bottom, then the person that would have been swapped out would have been Charlie Divine, not Sugar Bowls. Sugar Bowls was the person that was in the bottom for both the judges. Straight away said Sugar Bowls was in the bottom, right? And then discussed why it was between Candy, Reese, and Charlie for the other place at the bottom. Reese scraped by literally by writing Yoker across the right. So where like Candy and Charlie didn't necessarily scream, particularly that area, neither did Reese's, but it's literally spelled it out. So it kind of gets saved that way, but with the warning of be careful. There was a lot more sort of like working effort had went into sort of your look with trying to do the sort of green and blue face, the trophy on top. It sort of like kind of missed the mark, but compared to how short Charlie's video was of Queen of the Night, there was more. I don't want to say more effort put in on your part compared to Charles. I don't think that was the case. I think it's literally just been the difference of between.
And Tasha get bonus points for that.
I think it was just Charles was such a short video compared to the rest of them that when we were asking it to be bigger and more, it was more in what the outfit was and in the timing, and that's what put Charlie in the bottom. And either Sugar or Charlie could have lip synced to the wonderful Michelle McManus song.
I love it.
And
I'm definitely adding that to my set list.
Right, and save themselves in the competition. However, Sugar Bowls decided, I'm actually going to, because why try and remember, I'm actually going to look at the messages that were sent in.
I think it's just a horrible attitude to have.
Yeah.
You're basically like, you can disagree with the judges, but I think you could be graceful about it. It's like, look, well, it's only their opinion. I'll keep it to myself. I thought it was great, but I'll move on. I'll lip sync. I'll move on to next week. Instead of saying, no, look, I should be in the top. There's at least a few other bitches in this competition who are shit, who should take my place. I'll happily stay. It's like my work speaks for myself. I'm like, I don't know who you are or who you think you are. You pull that card out.
Confident. She was really overconfident about herself. She was like,
it was the thing. My work speaks for myself. I'm like, oh, that's great. You've got 2,000 old TikTok followers. Means jack shit. I'm sure you're a really talented queen and a great performer.
If you're talking about the video, right, your work speaks for itself. You're talking about you submitted. It does speak for itself. You are in the bottom. Like point blank, you're in the bottom. Decision's been made.
You-
Right.
Yeah, but
So
another question was
that's the first thing which we can lay it away with. You know what I mean? Unhappy. I fully appreciate being upset that you're on the bottom. If you feel that if you put in a lot of work, because I'm sure she did put in an awful lot of work. I can understand being upset, and I can understand maybe having a wee bitch to your pals about it. Right, when Nomi and Lola were in Suck You, every Wednesday night, Lola, Nomi, Meredith, and me went to Taco Bell and ripped that competition to shreds as to what we thought the judges, the correct decision, maybe the judges, the wrong decisions, what we thought of everyone's looks. Right, the reason it was
But we
Taco
never
Bell,
said anything, and we turned up the next week with smell and kept going.
you know what I mean? Right, that's how you do it. You be upset, but you've signed up for a competition, right? So you've signed up to be judged, right? Whether you agree with me or not, I don't give a fuck, right? You've signed up to be judged, right? You've signed up that part of that contest is 2 people each week are going to be in the bottom 2. They are going to lip sync and they're going to be eliminated, right? And one of them is going to be eliminated, right? So to then say that you're not doing that, well, that's what you signed up for. To say that you disagree with the judges,
I understand
you're going to
how
disagree
she
with the
thought
judges
that
a
by
lot
saying,
anyway.
Yeah, I don't understand why she thought that by saying I'm not going to do this lip sync that she was then going to just be placed as safe. I don't know how she genuinely thought that by saying that it was all going to work out for her, and she's going to go, that's fine, I'll be safe, and who I want to be in the bottom will be in the bottom. Like, that's not how it works.
No, it's just big-headedness.
The video was already public. Even if the video wasn't public, I don't think we would have changed our minds. Right? Right?
No.
Had you been told the decision before the video went public, right, and all this had happened, right, then see, I would have been a cow about it. Pun intended. It wasn't actually. I'm a cow about it. See if it'd been a sort of a private chat where you're told the decision, the same way that election works, right? At an election, the candidates are told what the result is before they go in that stage, right? And they're not allowed to give anything away. However, I can teach you the tricks because most parties have got tricks and tales to let their group know what the result is.
The point named you, Isa.
Like, and Sugar had sort of said that. Then, yeah, okay, tell you what, we'll go and say the bottom 2 this week are, Charlie and Candy, right? For example, right, okay, right, we'll change that. But then I'm the cow that would have then went, unfortunately, we've had to remove Sugar Balls from the competition and would have kicked her out anyway. And then there's been too much lost this week. Both of you step it up because it was inappropriate. It was disrespectful to the other contestants. One, putting in saying that you're refusing to do what you've agreed to do. 2, turning around and saying, and I quote, give my place to someone who deserves to be in the bottom. You deserve to be in the bottom, right? How dare you disrespect the other contestants like that, right? How dare you be so big-headed when you don't have anything to back it up, right? As someone with shit makeup was shit, costume was shit, performance was shit, did not match the fucking theme, and you have the audacity to fucking disrespect people and tell them and say, I'm not doing it, but I'll still do the competition, but I won't lip sync. It's what you fucking signed up for. Don't come in here big-headed with that attitude if you think you want to work in this fucking industry at all, right? You be a silly little man that doesn't know how to fucking shave before putting on makeup. If you're going to be a bearded queen, be a bearded queen. Don't be a fucking stubbly queen, right? Don't come in with a fucking attitude. Confidence, yes. A wee bit of cheeky cockiness, fine. Everyone's got a bit of delusion, right? But don't you dare turn around and say, I don't deserve to be bottom. It should be that person. But I'll do you a favour by staying in the competition, right? Right. But I won't be lip syncing. That's what the fucking competition is. I don't lip sync, right? I am not a lip syncing queen. The only time you really see me lip sync is if it's a joke within Pancho, or when I was in a competition and I had to lip sync. There was someone who doesn't lip sync. No, mate, in Leeds, when I had to lip sync for second place in that competition, did I lip sync?
Mm-hmm.
Was it good? Was it fuck? It was utterly atrocious and I was terrible. But did I still do it because that was part of the competition? Yes. Right. Did I turn around and say, oh, I don't lip sync, I'm not going to lip sync, right? Okay, it was a different situation because it was a winner, then second and third had to lip sync. But I was willing to give Sugar Balls the benefit of the doubt of being upset. Spitting the dummy out, that was fine. Having that attitude to send messages, refusing to lip sync, then being like, are you going to get this sorted tonight because if the judges won't reconsider? What is to reconsider? The decision's been made, the decision's been made public, right?
And it was unanimous.
Right. Our judging's way off, right? See if you don't agree with your decision, and I understand that because I don't agree with a lot of judges' decisions. Fuck, I'm wearing the wrong wig for this fucking headpiece. But this is literally my response to
Do I look like I give a fuck, dilly gaff? Am I being direct enough, dilly gaff? Just another way of saying I couldn't give a fucking rat's ass, mate. Do I look like I give a fuck, dilly gaff? Your turn.
Okay, so that's my response to if you don't agree with my judging. That's fine. Everyone's entitled to opinion. Your opinion didn't fucking matter this week. It was mine, but that's fine. You don't agree with it. Do not be that fucking disrespectful to the 7 other people in that competition that have worked their ass off all week, right? Like, seriously, don't. It was incredibly disrespectful, right? And, right, so we currently don't have any other sort of shows really going on in terms of, with shows that I need to produce when things reopen because things are already sold, contracts are already signed, stuff like that. But there's not really particularly gigs there for us to offer to the connect for that competition. It's not just my sound. I would have to check with like No Man's Sal if it was a Vesta show or anything like that, or like do it freelance. However, if at the end of this competition we went, you know what, fuck it, we've got a date that's we're contracted to put something on, but we don't have anything to put on. Why don't we give them all the chance to do something? At the moment, I would happily give, no matter how well you've done the competition, each of those people an opportunity of a performance in front of an audience, right? The disrespect, not the show does because I don't care, the disrespect she showed our fellow competitors, I wouldn't have her anywhere fucking near something like that, right? She was then given the benefit of the doubt of the same as each Lemonade Queen gets of coming on here to tell their side of the story, which is literally, we don't do that. It's a goodwill gesture for you to sort of say, oh, well, this is what I was trying to go for, or this is how I feel the competition went. And was like, well, she needs to think of a good fee for me. I'm waiting. You're getting fuck all. Right? And also, the eliminated queens receive like a payment when they get eliminated. That's not my decision whether they get it or not. However, Sugar Balls did not meet the criteria and did not participate to the ability to what she signed up to. She didn't do the lip sync. So I personally wouldn't give her the elimination money because she didn't fulfill her requirement. But that's not my decision. Right? To then post a video, Jenny Lemon video, going, remember, I'm an icon. You're not an icon, you're a cunt. Do apologise for swearing. You're not an icon, and it's a totally different situation. Jenny Lemon walked off because she didn't want to lip sync against her pal, right? And okay, it was maybe a wee bit butthurt that she was in the bottom, right? But she didn't sort of go, oh, I shouldn't be in the bottom. I'm so fucking wonderful. She went, I fuck it and left, right? You're in I'm not even going to say a shitty drag competition because it's got a better prize than most drag competitions in the UK for the level of queens that are in it. Right, it's £400. Most drag competitions that are looking at that level of queen are 50, 100, maybe £250. Right, there's some that are bigger, but mainly that's what you're looking at as a prize fund for the level of performer that has been selected for this competition. £400 the main prize plus £25 to £50 every week when you get eliminated is a fucking great prize, right? And to turn and be that disrespectful to everyone when they put that work in,
Yeah.
have fun doing your little TikTok videos, right? Because I don't really understand TikTok
I
anyway.
just felt really, really disappointed in Sugar
do-
because she
you
threw.
know,
There's a queen in the competition who's known Sugar a long, long time, right? So not only did Sugar throw her under the bus, but she threw every single person that's competing under the bus for no reason whatsoever. There was even Angel, even the top queens. She threw every single person under the bus for no reason. It was really disrespectful, and I was just, you know,
Because you're in a group chat, you
I
can
love
get the call
Sugar.
from inside the house.
oh, I didn't want to get that angry tonight. I want to give her the benefit of the doubt and sort of like mention that she was
You made me watching
disrespectful.
RuPaul.
Right, getting disrespectful. And then saying, you know, that was disrespectful and you need to sort of sort it out. However,
She was
It's
right
a-
about one thing. Your
What?
work does speak for itself, but so does your attitude. And I don't see the booking going to come in anytime soon.
no.
From the work or the attitude. As
No.
performers, we all know sometimes it's not always the best performers or entertainers the most talented to get far in this. It's people who work hard, who are
Yeah.
nice people, who are professional, who don't get a
And-
bad heart in a bloody competition.
And instead
On
of her
TikTok.
coming herself, she's on TikTok live.
Oh, is she?
Oh yeah.
Do a
I'm-
TikTok
I'm-
live at 6 o'clock.
Oh, is it finished?
Was it
I don't-
finished?
It might still be going. She was, again, I can't really say much. She was singing out of tune songs. And look, we all know that's my gig. You pick the key, I'll flatten it.
She'll track it down eventually.
So yeah, I'm all for confidence. I'm all for a wee bit of cheeky cockiness, although it can get annoying sometimes. And I can accept a wee bit of delusion and just sort of roll my eyes at it. What I won't take is that level of disrespect.
Yeah.
Right? If she'd put a comment into the group chat that said, I don't agree with that, I don't think I should be in the bottom, the judging's way off, fine. To actually say, just give my place to someone who deserves to be in the bottom. Fucking you. And had she slept on and still came and done the lip sync, I would have gave her the benefit of the doubt and judged her like fairly, and you know, Shireen would have judged her fairly and seen like how she done. And maybe actually, because as much as I do come across as a cunt and I'm a bit of a cunt, I probably would have said, tell you what, can we just let them both can we just let them sort of both stay, but be very sort of like aware of that, because I appreciate getting emotional and having a wee outburst, and that's fine. Don't worry about it. That's something you can work on.
Yeah.
But
Put it this way. See if I was in the
don't be-
bottom, or if I'm in the bottom next week, or if I'm in the bottom the week after that, I'm gonna have something to say, obviously, but I will never throw the other people under the bus. I won't be horrible with the judges, and I'm not gonna personally message and say nasty things or comment on the video and go, I'm eliminating myself. Like, I wouldn't do that.
This is a contract, by the way. This is seen. This is in recording, so that's a contract. If that happens, you're a breach of contract. It's fine. You're not legal old enough to sign a contract.
It's alright.
There's your lip
I get
talk.
away with it.
So who's this other person that's in the competition? Was that a laugh or is that actual somebody?
What?
That's one of the organisers that did it as a laugh. However, I found that video hilarious.
Yeah,
And
it was
See, I really
I was
I really
serious
hope
when I
it
sent a message saying, please, can we keep both of them? Right. I got screwed over by the tech department, but that was my fault. I forgot that Sherry's video gets put onto the start of our video. So my whole trying to give Charlie a heart attack by going, I'm sorry, but was ruined because the video starts with Charlie Devine, you've won. But anyway, so does anyone else have any other thoughts on Glasgow TikTok or on Sugar Bowls or the sort of situation? And I do apologise to you and to anyone watching this that I did get a wee bit shouty and angry there. But
No, you had every.
my motive, I'm doing about it all day. You're being pissed off and not pissed off at it.
She's having her own RuPaul moment. No, I think that's plenty. I think you've said enough, Effie.
That's what I'm saying. Does anyone else have anything they would like to add?
I would just say if Sugar ever watches this or it gets back to it, she might, look, just grow up.
Mm-hmm.
Let your work speak for yourself. Let your attitude speak for yourself. And
I'm just disappointed with her, and it's a shame because, you know, I don't know. It's just ridiculous. I don't understand why she thought it was a good idea to do that.
And don't throw people under the bus.
Obviously, yeah, because we're in this competition together, and you know we've had Untucked, and we've got to know Sugar. Sugar isn't like that, so it shocked us all, and we were kind of like, right, is it like we don't understand? But for me, I genuinely think she was just so overconfident with herself, and she was kind of like, I'm gonna slay every week. I'm gonna be in the top 4 or top 3 or whatever. I'm gonna slay every single week, and unfortunately, it's not like that.
Like, but that's having that level of confidence is good. You need to go into these things.
Yeah.
You know, you need to get in this with this idea of that I am wonderful. Because if you get going, oh, I'm all right, you're not going to go far. You need to exude that confidence.
Yeah,
but
I'm confident. Like for me, I'm confident with myself in this competition. I'm confident, but I'm
she could
confident to
if she'd went, I don't agree with the judge's decision. I shouldn't be in the bottom. That's fine. Don't then say, well, I think such and such should be in the bottom. Who the fuck are you? Right? You're entitled to your opinion, darling, but your opinion doesn't fucking matter. Right? At the end of the day,
you still know your camera's off, fine.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it back on in a minute. I'm just readjusting. Of course not. I just readjusting everything, and also because I was pulling a lot of faces.
See the thing. See, to be honest, I would just as well stop talking about it because this is probably what she wants. It's free press. We spent the last 54 minutes talking about it. Well, no, the full 54. We spent a good full 20 minutes getting a free press.
That's fine. It's the only time I'm going to talk about it. Go on. I've been sent a friend request. Who is it? It's got a very similar name. Oh, it's someone from Texas. Okay, that's fine. And a very similar name to who would you been talking about? I'm like, oh, go on. Go, I dare you. So, we're moving away from Glasgow TikTok. So, Candy, you're free to either go or you can stay when we start talking about Drag Race UK and season 13. So, it's up to you what you want to do.
I'll stay for the chat. I'll stay.
That's fine. Not a problem. Because I forgot to ask Crystal last week and just sort of left her there as we were all sort of talking about her, and eventually someone notes like, "Are you okay?" Yeah, I'm fine.
I know. I remember joining. I remember joining and watching, and she was just sitting there like, "If I go."
Sorry, my pussy's gone mental here. It's climbing up my curtains.
So, would you want to start with season 13 or Drag Race UK?
Well, I don't watch season 13. I've not watched it in ages. I keep on forgetting it's on. I keep on forgetting it's on.
I only watch it because we're meant to talk about it, but
it could be great. I generally just forget it's on.
I don't know whether it's not great or whether it's just because there's too much Drag Race at one time, or whether that they're on to episode 9 and there's still a shitload of them still in the competition. I can't. I'm not. into it the same way because no one got eliminated for the first 3 weeks. Then last week was a double stay. Right, okay, so Drag Race UK stand-up comedy challenge. What were your thoughts? Oh, so before we move on that, see if you're enjoying yourself. Remember that you can help these poor out of work. It's expensive to look this cheap. By popping a wee donation, if you can afford it, into paypal.me/the Vesta Girls. And that money basically goes to making sure that we can keep doing this. It pays for the license fee, for being able to use StreamYard. Yes, it is a free version, but we use this version so we can put our real logo on it and put it out on the different Facebook and YouTube pages. Also pays like for us to be able to eat because we have been out of drag work mainly for a year. Apart from the odd wee bit here and there, we've basically been out of work for a year. So if you can afford and would like to donate something, please pop it in. It's expensive to look this cheap. And then the words of
Speak for
Jackie
yourself.
G thought, tipping is not.
Don't even finish it. You fucked it up. It's not going to be good anyway. Just leave it. Please donate to Effie getting new punchlines. The new joke for Effie Fund.
New content.
Jackie, you're about half an hour late. There must be a delay. Because Jackie's now explaining to people that I broke my back. For those of you that don't know, I broke my back a couple of weeks ago.
Didn't break it.
And it's broken.
You broke your back.
My coccyx is broke.
It's the first I've heard of this.
Really, I broke my arse, but it doesn't sound as bad when you say you broke your back. I did fuck up, Dean. I know it's like tip is not compulsory, but it is. Tip is not compulsory, but it is essential or whatever it is.
I didn't even know there was a chat.
Or did you know if in the comments?
Is there a comment?
There's a private chat. There's a private chat bit, and then there's a comment section.
Oh, well, I never. All I can see in my screens is 3 of us, and then a second one of me that says I'm in the show. That's it.
Are you on your phone?
Yeah.
That's why.
Live, it's too small. Not going to lie, Alex.
Right, so Drag Race UK, what was your thoughts on the stand-up challenge? Well, down to the top 5, which were Ahura, Ellie, Tace, Bimini, and Lawrence.
Honestly, watching all their sets, I didn't think anyone was horrifically bad. I thought they all done fine, some better than others. But I don't think Ahura's was too strong a content and relying too much on vulgarity for the full set. But it still could have been funny if we actually heard the punchlines. Taste just isn't stand-up, but he was confident enough and he sold there was one or two wee funny bits in it and he sold them. Ahura was really funny. Ellie was funny.
Lawrence was quite good, but it just took so long for the joke to land.
Like, I think the ones who do comedy, I think of comedy, have got a specific, like, each person's got a different style of comedy, of how they do it, with the storytelling, punchlines, blue jokes. And it's like, you need to really condense it and be like a 1970s stand-up where, like, just keep going. Because it gets cut down in a minute or two, so you need to.
I think it was also hard for them because there's not a live audience there. And you could feel that there wasn't a live audience there. Because the energy just gets sucked out of the room. It's like doing these. A lot of these are awkward sometimes when you're sort of talking, especially the ones that you do if you do like a live yourself and you're standing talking to a screen and you don't know whether anyone's actually listening or caring or so it is sort of awkward. So I think they all did sort of like very well. We will address the elephant in the room because someone's commented on it. I probably have a different opinion on this than most people. So basically, Ahura and Lawrence were both a wee bit upset with the running order.
Mm-hmm.
What were your thoughts on that?
Well, Ella definitely done it to what she thought was to help herself and fuck everyone else over. So of course she probably
Did
would
it
be
help her, though?
upset. She done fine. She was safe. Someone with a badge went home. She was safe. Must have helped her somehow.
But she still didn't win.
She's still there. That's not. But I'm saying at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter where you go, because if you're going to be shit, if it's not your thing, it's not going to be your thing. Whether you're first, second, third, or fourth. If you're going to be good, you're going to be good. She shouldn't have done it. She could have made it order to help some herself, maybe help herself better, to help Lawrence, you know, make it a better show run. She didn't. She made the decision. She stood by it. Wherever you are in that running order, if comedy's not your thing or you're not funny, you're still not going to be funny wherever you get put.
Yeah, no, like that's right. Who's got their volume up too high and not get headphones plugged in because the echoes I made is very strong. Oh,
I've
that's
not
better.
got-
But he's not
But I
talking.
don't. It was just a second there. It was very echoey. Like that's all fitting. How you're going to do it is how you're going to do. Due to the way it's portrayed on TV, and that is something that's been made very clear. It's a fully edited TV show. It came across as not just trying to put yourself in a good position, but how to screw everyone over the most. And it reeked of insecurity. To me, it reeked of insecurity. I'm not saying that she was insecure. That is just how it came across from that character on the TV show. Not only talking about the humans.
Well, if we're taking it out, if we're just taking it in context of what we see, and we all know it's edited and that's not who they really are, and they're all friends now and no hate. It was like insecurity in Ellie's part, and I got a lot of their outburst and we don't know, but crying and screaming matches, and apparently it still follows on in next week's episode of the upsetness. Was them taking their vulnerabilities and their insecurities and fears out as well. So you're already going into challenge one for a whole who doesn't think she's going to be good at. So she's already feels at a disadvantage. So she's taking that stress out. Lawrence is taking the stress out of, I thought you were my friend. I should be good at this, but then I've maybe stumbled at other challenges I thought I was going to be good at. So this is like make a break for me. You've still not put me in a good spot.
Yeah, I would say for me, what I'm noticing is a lot of what Lawrence was saying, I could hear coming out my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's a difference between whether you're someone who's used to putting shows together as actual shows. My first response would be to shit sandwich it.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and someone you want put them behind someone really strong, and put you behind someone that you think is going to be weak, because putting yourself behind someone that's going to be weak is going to make you look better. And to throw someone under the bus, put them behind someone strong, because if the person in front of them is so strong, it's harder to sort of build up from that. But it just seemed to be, no matter what position folk were in, they were in the worst position in terms of the putting on a good show and doing well in the competition.
Mm.
I'm not saying it was wrong, because that's a choice that she made and that's how she wants to play the game. But I think there's ways of doing it. I think it's been done better in the past, it being a wee bit shady without coming across as being total, let's screw the world over.
Through the
I'm
ending,
not saying that was intentional, but
I don't think any of them really came off that great through the edit because, like, Lawrence and Ahura have got every right to be annoyed and angry and stressed and talk about it and air it. But I think some of their choice words, like, one, it is a competition. Two, actions speak louder than words. How would you have done it, or we'll never know. So you can stand in your high horse and say you would have done it a different way. We're never going to know. And yes, it is a show, but overall it's a reality show competition. So it's you could say she's trying to make good TV, she's trying to get her 5 minutes, she's fair enough, she hasn't won a badge, so maybe she should be next to go home, who knows, but through the edit we be getting a lot of that fired at her, so she's a wee bit pissed off and went, fuck the fullies. I've not got a badge, but
it's a prime example. It's a prime example of. Wait, can you still hear me talking?
Yeah.
I don't, because I think it's this mic. It's a prime example of where someone's position in the competition doesn't necessarily match where they would be if you put everyone in the competition together and ranked them by how well they've done so far.
Mm-hmm.
Ellie has been able to stay at a nice sort of standard level where she's not tripped up to end up in the bottom or end up low, but she's also not been able to excel at any point. Whereas everyone else has had really good weeks and then maybe a stumble. So that consistency for Ellie is great, but I can understand why it's going to get to you. But at the same time, there's maybe people who would be doing better in that position because they have been able to excel as part of the competition. And then some people are out literally because they've had a wee stumble. Sugar Bowls could have won the Glasgow TikTok. She had a wee stumble this week and decided to shit it against the wall. The fact that she had a wee stumble rather than pick herself up and carry on. And then you've got new judges every week. You've got new judges every week. So prove us wrong this week. Someone else is judging you next week. Sorry.
What do you think, Candy, about UK Drag Race?
What? Oh, UK Drag Race. See, for me, from Lawrence's point of view, understand where she was coming from. I think that she did get a little bit too angry. I do understand where she was coming from, though. But then from Ellie's point of view, I think that she kind of should have, like, she should have done what she done because she was in the background for most of the season. So I think this was her chance to go, well, you've been, underestimating me, so this is my time to kind of show you what I can do. So I'm going to mess you up so I can show Rue what I can actually do. So it's kind of like she should have done it. She did do it, obviously, but she should I think I agree with her. But so I agree with Lawrence and I agree with Ellie.
Like, see, I'm not saying I'm like a stand-up comedian, but I think I can do comedy. But if it was a challenge, if I wasn't good at comedy or talking on a mic and it was something I didn't think I was good at the end of the day, it would be a competition. So you would try and bring yourself out to... Where is it she actually went? Did she go between Ahura and Tace? Or was she after Ellie? Where is it she actually placed again? Who was she?
She wasn't coming from
Ellie went Ahura and Bimini.
She went after them or between them? Between them.
It was a good enough.
And then Tace came after that.
No, Tace was the last.
So it was.
Like that's what Lawrence's point was. You didn't shit sandwich it. You knew that Bimini and Lawrence were the strongest comedy queens, and you put Ahura and Tace top and tail in it who were expected to be the weakest, it really should have been. If you're looking at it as a show, then maybe
I
you
don't
weren't looking
think-
at a show.
But they always say in a show, like, you always remember the beginning and the end. So she's put shit and shit at the end. She went, right, the judges will remember them, and I might fly by in the middle. I'll get clumped into the group of the two good ones in the middle. They'll laugh at some bits, no remember it all, but you'll remember the start and you remember the finish. Just a thought, I don't know.
I guess your point. See, that's why you sort of start
If
strong
you're-
and end strong.
If you're doing an actual
that's-
show, aye. If you take it out of context, if you're doing it properly, aye.
In terms of the lip sync, do you think the right decision was made?
No.
Do you think
Mm-mm.
the other one should have stayed and
Okay.
one should have gone, or both of them should have stayed?
Spoiler alert.
Oh, man.
It's rumoured that next week's a double save. It better be fucking good, because I think this week's to be a double save. So
No.
if this week wasn't a double save, what the hell happens next week for next week to warrant a rumoured double save? Because I think it was very close between the two of them. It could have been legitimately. It could have been legitimately been a double save easily.
I wouldn't have been mad
I-
if any of them stayed.
You know, like, I don't feel that there was one that did well compared to the other. Did majorly well compared to the other one.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad if both of them stayed, but I do think Tay should have been in the bottom. And I think
Yeah, I agree. A horror and Taste deserve to be in the bottom.
I don't
I'm
think
not
Ahura-
disputing. Yeah. Who would you have put in Ahora's place?
Ellie. That's
Listen,
how
I didn't find Ellie funny, but I understand some people do find that funny. That whole
Like a reference kind of randomness.
it was basically this sort of like just screechy voice a bit of it. I didn't find. I felt Ahora's jokes, yes, were very vulgar, but there was more of a sort of stand-up comedy joke there compared to Ellie's, but Ellie did look well enough, and I understand how other people find that funny.
It's like I
I
said
think
before, there's
Ellie's
so many
was,
different.
was funny. Ellie's was funny how she done the two sort of split people, but I think she done, for me, you could, like, there was no sort of, okay, I'm doing Ellie and now I'm doing Dirty Diamond. Like, she never really done that. It was just kind of all mumbled and jumbled, and that's why I think she should have been in the bottom, because it wasn't clear that, right, okay, now she's doing Ellie and now she's doing Dirty Diamond. It was all muddled and it was confusing.
But I think the point was meant to be that Ellie was doing the stand-up and Dirty Diamond was making like a comment. Well, that's what I sort of, which is fine, and ventriloquists do it all the time and stuff like that. But it was just this sort of like that sort of ethereal demon voice, and I'm like, why is that funny? I understand why some people do find that funny, but when I find a voice and people find it funny, I didn't find it funny, but I understand how other people do find it funny.
I think it was funny at start and then it just got pulled in.
Aye, it's like there's so many different styles of comedy. It all depends on your taste of what you like. Like I like a dirty
Mhm.
joke, but I don't like them back to back.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it just shows either yes, she's not a stand-up comic, she's maybe not a comedy queen, but in general it shows lack of uniqueness, it shows laziness. We'll rely on the dirty word, that'll get them. We'll say tits, that'll make them laugh. It can when it's like when it's put in the right place. It just seems she rely on, I'll mention an old woman and then I'll mention a dirty act and that'll be the joke. Plus we couldn't hear them. And because watching it on TV, you saw the judges quite, and it made me a bit.
But the nonsense isn't not as bad as you think it's going to be.
I said it could be really funny in context in a different venue on a different night.
Yeah, like, I whole I forgot she was in the BBC, basically.
Mm.
Well, she was doing a drag queen that does comedy. You forgot she was in the BBC.
But I don't think anyone made a mistake of what a lot of the American ones do. Oh, I host on the mic all the time. I'm hilarious. I write a stand-up set. I'm like, it's vastly different. Yes, you can still be funny on the mic. You can be a bit of improv and a wee line here, and you've got your goodie bag full of wee jokes that work when you need them. That's vastly different from standing on your own, not having a great number behind you, a great number to do after it, and you're just going to stand there and tell a joke or a story that's funny. It's quite different from, like, there's a skill in both, but they're different skills. And I don't think anyone made that mistake. No one claimed to be great if they weren't. No one claimed, oh, I do that. But you see that all the time, the American ones, like when Rock said, oh, I host all these nights and all that. It's like, you host for the 5 minutes or less in between each act. That's great. Oh, say the drag queen's name, say something fun about her outfit, say something fun about her with the wonky eye in the front, one eye's at the bar, one eye's coming back with the change or something. Ha 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 ha. And welcome to the stage. It's vastly different from doing stand-up.
That's similar to when I've made previously about a lot of drag queens, but not really. But can you just say they can do it for 5 minutes? A point that I've made before is there's drag queens that can do an amazing 5-minute lip sync dance, but I fucked at holding an audience if anything goes wrong. In terms of holding a show together for 2 hours. And I think that's a mistake a lot of the Americans make, that they're used to.
They always go down well. They can do the 5-10 minutes. And forget, well,
having to hold an audience on a mic.
You know how you're behind lip sync to someone else who's hitting all the right keys or doing a jump split or a kick. All your shield and armour's gone, and it's just you and your raw talent that's there, and that's what's getting judged. How do you think you would have done in a stand-up comedy week?
Right.
How do you think you would have done, Candy? On the theme, was it love, relationships, and...
I think, honestly, I don't know what I would have done, but I know that the outcome would have been absolutely rubbish, because I obviously I do lip syncing. I do comedy lip syncing. I don't do stand-up comedy or anything, like actual like talking on the mic and stuff. I don't do that. So I think I would have really struggled. I would kind of play with a character, maybe someone that comes off really sexy and really chic, is actually disgusting. I think that would have maybe been quite funny.
Also, what kind
maybe
of what Taste was gone for is like, I look like this person who men should be falling at my feet, but I prefer beans and toast.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
trying to do.
I think that's what Taste was. I think that's the direction Alan Carr tried to push Taste in.
Okay.
Like, I'm going to come out looking like an absolute Venus. I am the goddess of love. Men should love me. But I'm not interested in it, and I like beans and toast, and that's what makes it funny. I think that's the direction Alan Carr said, oh, stick with that.
Yeah, I would have came out.
Depending
like,
where I was in the running order, would depend on what I was doing, really. If you put me in a horror's position, I'm going out as Clean Jean, because then it's already written.
Aye, in a live show, but because you get away with doing that on RuPaul's Drag Race.
If it's out first, then yeah, the whole idea. I don't think you can put Clean Jean in the middle, because most of the jokes are about what's coming up.
Also, would you have done it more as you're hosting and interacting with other people who are coming up, like taking the lead rather than just doing like a 5-minute set? Mix it with the
set as Clean Jean though. So the way that I do it is sort of like start. So you don't have to pay attention during the Clean Jean bits, do you?
No, but I know it sounds horrible, but a lot of it is Dorothy Paul's jokes. That's saying, could you do that on live TV? You can do it in person because you add your own.
Well, the one of the Clean Jean jokes is Dorothy Paul's now, and it's a dental joke. I think. It sounds horrible. I need another building to burn down because that one's definitely mine. Because most of the Clean Jean jokes are actually self-deprecating about me. I couldn't do those ones because I wouldn't be coming back on.
Mm-hmm.
But along those lines on whoever was coming on after me. But I would probably find stand up hard. That's why John Gallus Gals. I'm like, it's fine. I'll just host it.
I feel like I should be able to be okay at it.
You were fine, John Gallus Gals.
I mean, like we done the comedy night at the Swingers Club. It was a few wee funny bits when we host. Yes, that's hosting, but it's usually a joke set up. There's usually like it's a joke, not just have randomly said something funny. Then we did that comedy night and it was all right. So I feel like I should be competent enough to do a solid 5 minutes within that theme to be safe at least. And then also watching it like, watching it in hindsight and in context, you can think of tons of stuff, but actually being there at the time might be different.
Yeah. I think if I did a show, I would definitely stick to trying to do a character. Because if I'd done a character, I think I would be okay. I don't think I'd win, but I'd be at least safe. I don't know. I think because I do character stuff anyway, so I think that if I was on the show and it was a comedy challenge, I would 100% go and try and dig out a character.
It's definitely one of those challenges. If I got the phone call, say you're on the show and here's what challenges could come up, it's like, oh, that should be a strong week for me then. If it was like a design week, I would know that's probably going to be a bad week for me. But do you like the certain challenges you think you should be good at, so you think they are my good week? So if it was like an acting challenge or some sort of
that's me. I'd fuck up what should be my good weeks.
I mean, I wouldn't tell anybody on the show it's my good weeks, but like if it was like a musical or a music video, I'm not the guest singer, but I've had to fake it long enough so that I could fake my way through it and I could dance well enough. Well, it was a dance week, I should be good at it. I kind of do comedy, so I should be okay at it. Snack game's a different beast because you can be a funny person but no good at characters. That's a different beast on its own. I don't know if I'd be great at that. I would get a whack, but I don't know if I'd be great at it.
I don't think I'd be good at Snatch Game. I'm good at remembering quotes, and the impression of the quote is just making sure you're quick enough to get the quote and to fit into the question.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'd necessarily be good at Snatch Game. I would worry about an acting challenge because Drag Race acting is a lot different from normal acting and even drag acting.
I know that's what I'm saying, but if you go in, you know what they're looking for in challenges. And Drag Race challenges acting, they're not looking for you to be witty or smart and funny. They're just wanting you to go full ham and we'll tell you to pull it back. Be vulgar, be funny, be over the top. Don't think like an actor makes smart choices here and be subtle there, and they really just want you to go ham. So like I think we're all competent enough performers to go like that's what they're looking for. I can give you that, and if I need to rein it in, I can.
Like bonus, none of us are going to fucking be like.
We could.
Anything's possible, I suppose. I don't think I want to do it though. Personally, I wouldn't have caught well on it. I'm too temperamental. But if you want to stay on it and want to be able to afford all the money you're gonna have to put into runway looks and costumes, pop a wee donation into PayPal.me / the best the girls. Right, so we can actually afford to go.
What challenges do you think you would be good at, Candy?
Well, we'll find out next week for Snatch Game with me. But I think I do quite well
Doing
at
for Snatch Game?
What?
What are you doing for Snatch Game?
I'm gonna do Barbie.
Mm-hmm. I think that's quite.
I don't know about the smart choice for you. I don't really know for you, but I think it's a smart choice. See if you look at who normally does well in Snatch Game, it's when someone plays a dumb blonde.
Mm-hmm.
Adore Delano as she didn't win it, but she did really well as not Nicolette Sheridan and Nicole Smith.
Jessica
Bimini, Katie Price, Gottmik is Paris Hilton. The sort of like dumb blonde seems to work well on Snatch Game.
Yeah.
Your biggest mistake in Snatch Game is trying to be too smart with your character.
And I think because you pick someone who's not real and isn't known for anything really than how they look or how they've been portrayed in Toy Story, whatever you can be funny as you don't need to try and be Barbie.
There's a full range of Barbie films. Don't you say she just says Toy Story? There's a full range of Barbie films, and I'm pretty sure they've got spin-off films of spin-off films.
Oh well, do you know what I mean? It's not like you're not going out as like Meryl Streep and you need to. Barbie is all different shade, all different colours. So an African American could play Barbie, a Latin could play Barbie, a blonde can play Barbie, a brown head can play Barbie. When you look at the dolls, they're all different. They've all had different jobs. They've all been different races. They've been in wheelchairs. She's everything that she's nothing.
I'm pretty sure the different race in hair colours have got different names. I don't think they're Barbie.
They came out with a Barbie called Black Barbie, and that got a lot of hate. So then they came out with a Black Barbie but called it a different name. So they're all called different names. So you've got Barbie, and then you've got Skipper, Chelsea, and then there's all these other people.
What I was trying to say is the other ones who usually do good in Snatch Game where I pick older references and there's not as much pressure on them. Like when you go like as Mae West or Marlena Dietrich, you can say stuff they might have not actually said. But if you say it in the style of them, you get away with it if you try to do someone relevant.
Guys for next week.
When she has a hair canary and walks out and leaves the competition, and we talk about her on here next week with someone else.
Who's leaving the competition next week?
So, but she says keep an eye out. It's like when she has a hair canary, who if she's in the bottom two and walks out, we're talking about her on here next week with someone else.
Aye. Well, see if you do get eliminated going to no get eliminated next week, same we've got you 2 weeks in a row, but when you do get eliminated, you're welcome back to tell us whether you think it was the right decision or not. Because that's the whole point of inviting you on, is to give the eliminated queen the opportunity to say, I agree with it, I disagree with it, here's what I would have done if I stayed in the competition, here's what I would have changed, here's what I wouldn't have changed, or look, fuck it, yes, I'm going back to Sugar. Sugar could have come on here and fought her case as to why that was correct. Right?
Yeah. Well,
and may have actually changed my mind. If I went, you know what? That now makes sense. It's unfortunate that we don't get to actually speak to you when we do the critiques. We just talk amongst ourselves and then put out a critique video. Right? But I think what's missing is to give you that opportunity for us to go, why have you got footballs for a bra? Because I'm a football pitch. All right, okay. That's what I'm missing for us to actually for the judge to understand. And if they run it again, I think it should be run on Facebook. But I said that before they ran the TikTok one as well. Why are you not doing it on Facebook? But no, she's made her decision, and I wish her all the best in her own little fucking bubble. But if her attitude doesn't improve, I don't see anyone actually wanting to work with her.
Yeah, well,
Same
just
to
so
what
you
I did
guys
before.
know, everyone watching this, so you guys know that I wouldn't be here if Sugar didn't make a nurse herself.
She would still be in the competition. She just wouldn't be her turn to come and do the interview because it would have been either Sugar or potentially Charlie, although I think Charlie's working anyway tonight. Again, the eliminated queens do not need to come on. None of the queens need to come on. It's literally an offer they're saying, look, we do this basically an hour after the announcement anyway. So if they want to come on and give their side of the story, the chance is there. Now, if you don't want to come on, that's fine. And then I mean, tonight, I don't think Sugar's going to do it. I'm like, I didn't think she was going to do it. I didn't think last night at 10 o'clock she was going to do it. But Candy's interested. Is that okay? I'm like, send on whoever you want. Send them all on and let them all tell us what did they think of Sugar. Can we make that a thing? When someone comes on,
can we share the group chat?
We asked them, what would you have done if you'd been here next week, and what would you like? And also, what did you think of Sugar eliminating herself?
Oh no, that would just end up in a slippery slope.
What?
We'll see when
what do you think of?
Bringing it up every week is just going to turn into one of the things. I see like on Twitter when you see something that has no malice in it and then everybody jumps across as it's bullying. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Do you know what I mean? It's one of these slippery slopes. Asking that every week.
I think it doesn't need mentioned until the end of the competition if they decide to do a broadcasted reunion.
Well, I think
they were talking about it.
They were thinking about it. We were all kind of discussing it in the group chat with Chris. So they might do a big finale with everyone. So we'll see if Sugar arrives.
If she does, maybe give the benefit of the doubt if she's grown and she's changed.
It's very stressful.
And if she wants to apologise for it, you can forgive, but you don't need to forget.
Be fucking respectful. That's the main thing. All she had to do was be respectful to the other competitors.
And she was there.
And they're actually fucking that. No. I'm not having that.
That's why I'm more upset about it, though, is because she threw all of us under the bus for no reason.
Do you think you'll come off this like tons of messages or something?
No, I don't give a fuck about me. I'm in the group chat is going fucking wild. Like, what the fuck's going to do?
Yeah,
and don't forget to mention.
I'll go into the group chat after this and it'll be like, so you had a lot to say.
See, we can't ask you any of the shady questions because normally it's an eliminated queen. So you can say, so who do you think's going to win, or who do you think's going to be eliminated next, and stuff like that. We can't ask you that because you're still in the competition. It's pointless on you. Who do you think's going to? No, bar yourself. Who do you think's going to win?
The whole thing.
Yeah.
Either Angel or Giza, possibly, or Bonnie.
Is there reasoning behind that?
I think Giza's got a really big personality, so that's kind of one reason. Angel, obviously stunning, can pull off like looks, and yeah, I think Bonnie's really, really strong, can really sing, do a lot. So those three, I think.
I was trying to remember the next couple of challenges where that's why I'm going.
As I would say, it is only 60 seconds. So one, singing's hard to get close, personality's hard to get close, looks. The one who's the look queen first week. No. Second week, yes.
I don't think we wanted to talk about it.
I think you're right.
End of story.
But you're right, they three could win. They've got all the, they're still in the competition. They've done well. They've lasted. They've got all the potential. They could still definitely do it.
I would say everyone that's still in the competition has the potential to win. Have you got another design
Well-
challenge?
Oh.
I'm not saying
Okay.
it.
No, don't be that person.
Because all the design challenges are finished, I think.
Yeah. Well, no.
Your week 6 one and your week 5 one.
There's one challenge. I don't know if you know. I won't say it, but there's one challenge that if someone chooses to do the design for that, then
Right. There's 6 weeks, isn't there?
Mm-hmm. So next week's
Yeah,
Snatch Game.
I know
and
there were.
then-
Yeah, there's one that I would like to see.
The week that you're probably
I'm not
thinking
judging that
of,
week. It doesn't matter.
there's a week that
Week 5, I would like to see creativity, but I'm not judging it, so it doesn't matter. But I'm going to be bored if I see a whole load of Mrs. Doubtfire carbon copies. Like, I would like to
there's
see
a week
someone
that
maybe be a wee bit creative
there's a week
with
that
it.
there's a week that anyone should. There is a week where I don't think anyone should be making anything. I think it should all be, But that's just my opinion.
Well, I don't know, but I only know what Charlie tells me. Come and help me with
That's
this.
Charlie's drag mother, yeah.
Oh, hello.
And I've got to that
And
event.
just to prove that there's no favourite, there's no favouritism, I put on the fucking bottom 2, and I've gone the bottom 2. I mean, actually, Charlie probably got judged harsher this week because she's Nomi's drag daughter. In terms of, I wasn't going to let her away with things.
But that's fair though.
Rigor mortis. Rigor mortis.
No, but in terms of when someone went, oh, well, we'll put Charlie in the bottom 2, I'm like, well, she was in my bottom 3 anyway, so yeah. Because I was very aware, I was really hoping that our look was going to be a nice, easy, safe. But I stand by the bottom 2 choice we made. After last night, I looked at videos again and may have changed my mind. But it was Charlie that was coming out the bottom, not Sugar. But I have my reasons as to why those people got saved from the bottom. And I wasn't changing my mind. But I did sort of look again and thought, maybe I could put them in. But it wouldn't actually change any of this because I still feel that Sugar deserved to be in the bottom. There's no doubt in my mind about that bit. And there's no doubt that Charles deserved to be in the bottom because she did. There's always other people that could have been in there with her or instead of her. But she did deserve to be there. But Sugar definitely deserved to be there.
Yeah.
Just my opinion. And my opinion no longer matters, but it did fucking matter this week.
And if you've enjoyed the Sugar podcast and interview this week, please donate below.
If you put in 20 I'll tell you what I really think. That's a joke. I think I had my outburst. Again, I am sorry for my outburst, but that level of disrespect towards our fellow contestants just is disgusting. And I'll try and be nice with all this, and find the good like, in anything and all that.
I'm molten.
That was fuck. Because the message started coming through while I was driving. You know what I mean? When you see the first one, you're like coming through and you're like, oh, I'll check that later. It's like beep, beep. And I'm like, fuck, I had to pull in to fucking Fennec. Right? Fennec of all places. Right.
Are they famous for cows or not?
And today I was like picking up and dropping off stuff. So I drove around a lot of Ayrshire today. I didn't see one Ayrshire cow, but that doesn't actually mean anything. But I just didn't see one Ayrshire cow.
So what do you think of the run based on RuPaul's Drag Race?
Why? We're back in RuPaul's Drag Race UK. I thought they were all, although mainly good. I liked the horrors.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like Bimini's.
Mm-hmm. I was on the fence with it. I enjoyed it, but I don't think I enjoyed it as much as the judges praised it.
Like
I appreciate creativity.
Aye, so it wasn't my cup of tea, but I appreciated what she done with it. I liked Lawrence's. I thought it was really nice.
I can't remember the runways.
I can't remember Taces.
Oh, she had I was glad that there was silver panels with stones in it. She had long black hair.
I wasn't really a big fan of Ellie's, but that was again just sort of personal taste. I think I've saw that outfit on someone else, but I think she's actually stoned it. I don't think when I've saw that outfit before, it was stoned. And it was
I think she's got something
outfit.
very similar. I think she's got something very similar in pink.
Is that what it is? It just looked familiar. It was nice enough, but it wasn't like compared to the rest with the sort of like the dripping and jewels and sort of stoned effect on the others. It was a nice wee dress for doing a gig in, not for runway. No, really, Francis. Yes, Ayrshire cows is a thing. Ayrshire cows are brown and realise you just can't see that. Yes, Ayrshire cows are a thing, but Ayrshire cows are brown and white, not black and white with a sepia filter. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's the thing that Ayrshire's famous for. I would also say Ayrshire's quite a big area compared to how specific the rest of the contestants were. I don't know what part of Ayrshire she's from. The images she used in her intro video would make me think she's from Carrick, but that could just be that Carrick's nicer than the rest of Ayrshire. Do you know what part of Ayrshire she's from?
I don't think we should be sharing that on this. If she's not shared it.
Fair enough. I'm just intrigued in terms of like there's a lot of, I would say, and I think she may have been at a disadvantage that it was someone from Ayrshire judging it. However, Ayrshire's not really known for yes, there's Ayrshire cows, but I wouldn't really say Ayrshire's known for cows. And you didn't even do any Ayrshire cows. What are you talking about? And why was the song Copacabana? I feel as if there's probably really good reasons for these things, right? And that's what I know. I'm sure there's probably really good reasons why you chose Copacabana for an Ayrshire cow look, having already told us that Biffy Clyro were from Ayrshire. So why not use a Biffy Clyro song? Why not use a Burns song? That's what was sort of missing compared to like Reese using a sea shanty to do a fairy, Charlie using Queen of the Night to do Queen's Park. You know, that was what was missing from. It just didn't make sense. There was nothing Ayrshire.
That was one
About-
thing I think I was struggling with was the whole song thing. Like, what song do I pick?
Because you wouldn't want to pick, I don't know, you personally pick a song that's maybe too heavily associated with one football team.
That's why I was like, oh, what did I do? So that's why I went for the actual
Could you know what's that? Because that's just a football tune into Match of the Day. Could have done that.
So technically,
yeah.
you're doing Hampden's for the Scottish team. It's nothing to do with Rangers and Celtic. And you're lucky I was in a good mood, didn't mark you down for making it Rangers and Celtic, but we'll not talk about it. You stayed safe.
Should we wait till next week and we'll talk about that for about 45 minutes?
Aye, you said you were doing Tory Glen, then did Hampden, and I understand Hampden Stadium is in Tory Glen. However, I'm pretty sure the street signs round about Hampden have got Hampden below them, not Tory Glen. I meant to check that today, but I didn't because I was in that area today. Why do you not dress up as Margaret Thatcher for doing Tory Glen?
Because that's the play more on the name than actual what the place is for.
Dress up as Margaret Thatcher in Tory Glen.
Some people did say to me, do like dress as a Tory and then do like something to do with Glenn. That's what people were telling me to do, and I was like, I don't know. Because there isn't much here, honestly. We've got Asda, a care home.
Obviously, it's up to you, but I think that could have been a way of looking at I said, do a pun in the place name.
But yeah, I struggled because there isn't much here. We've got a care home, we've got Asda, football pitches in Hampden Stadium. Not much. And a school. 2 schools.
Is anyone famous ever came from there?
Huh?
Is there anyone famous ever came from there?
I don't think so, no.
I didn't know you see some there once, but that's about it.
I think Chris said something about there was a Sony advert that was filmed in Tory Glen.
A Sony?
Uh-huh. But I don't remember that.
I never heard it in my life. But I don't pay attention to places.
That's why I think I could have been in the bottom, was because it was hard to think of something, there's nobody, that I know of, there's nobody famous that's from here. There isn't much here, apart from Ned's, and after hearing that thing about you with Ned's, I was like, okay, we're not doing a Ned.
But the thing about Ned's was, it was very much a case of, if you're meant to be doing, like, at that point, after you meant to do an actual Glasgow scheme, or like area of Glasgow, if you're meant to be doing an actual area, Ned's just wasn't specific enough. It was just generic west coast of Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt like a lazy choice.
Yeah.
To do an Edinburgh Butler Buckfast.
Yeah, I'm glad
you
were
able to do that if you wished.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I'm glad about what I chose, but I would have maybe done something bigger with it, 100%.
I think just narrowing it down, because if you're going with one football pitch here, 2 different teams here, is it football you're going for? Is it the football pitch you're going for? Is it
from Hampden?
What is that?
The football teams don't play at Hampden that he did, but
that's what I'm saying. There was 2 different things. So if you narrowed it down and picked one,
he's safe. Leave the boy alone.
I'm safe. Stop it.
Isn't you worried about it?
You've been sat and bitched about sugar for 45 bloody minutes. I'm giving advice.
Oh, well, no wonder. So no wonder, because I gave her the benefit of the doubt, and I was trying to, but it was just the disrespect to other people that have worked hard, and that sense of entitlement when you've got nothing to back it up. See if it was further in the competition and she'd been doing well. Or seeing if her look had been halfway decent last week. Maybe. But her look was shit last week as well. She didn't end up in the bottom, but her look was shit. It was a tablecloth, a hole cut in the bottom of it, and fucking arm sleeves that went down to here, but we'll not talk about it.
I think
That's 50 minutes. What else have we got to discuss? Because that's nearly 2 hours we've been on.
We've covered the topic. Is there anything else that we wish to discuss? Whether you want to talk about the Scottish Government committee inquiry into the allegations against Alex Salmond or not. The rules and manifestos, but that's something for later on. Or the fact that Boris Johnson's been done for breaking the ministerial code for £2 billion worth of misappropriated funds. But the Scottish Tories aren't asking him to fucking resign, are they? Or the fact that after them trying to attack Nicola Sturgeon and tell her to resign, the SNP membership went up by like 10,000. But the increase in membership they got, they've come to 61% of the actual Labour membership in Scotland and stuff like that. So it kind of backfired there. What I noticed about that day of the giving the evidence, no matter what side you were on, you found those 8 hours to prove your case. So those who were pro Sturgeon come out that thinking she did 8 hours very well, and those that were anti-Sturgeon come out those 8 hours going, oh, that's that final nail in the coffin there, hen. I don't think anyone particularly changed their mind, but some of the people in that committee maybe should have thought before they said things. Like Margaret Mitchell, the First Minister disputes that. I'm the First Minister. And Jackie Bale's just a waste of oxygen most of the time anyway. She's apparently a really good constituency MSP. She's just no good when it comes to trying to play big politics. What were your thoughts, Naomi?
I thought it was on Salmond was on trial because they tried to claim they invented salmon, but I was wrong.
It was you that wanted to talk about this, isn't it?
Actually, if you listened, I said no because I've not actually listened to it. I just wanted to talk about to say I wish you came in like John Collins in Dynasty.
Oh, aye. with a big hat.
Get the listening ears on, Effie.
And that was before I was pissed off last night. I was having a good mood last night when I had that conversation.
You're right, Charlotte. I do look good. At the end of the day, doesn't matter if you're SNP, Labour or Tory, I will always be beautiful. You give me a ring light and a filter and a fucking trowel full of makeup, I'll make it work.
I mean, this makes no sense to Candy because she's not even allowed to vote.
I will be soon.
She's still using her young Scots card as ID.
Yes, you can use a postcard as ID.
A young Scots card. Do you still get them?
Yeah.
And do they know what to your 25 or something? I could still use mine. So could you, Candy.
I've known where mine was since I was about 14 anyway, so don't worry about it.
I've only got my young Scots card is because one time I was trying to get the train and I got stopped because I looked 18. So I had to have ID for proof.
I wouldn't say you look 18. What I would say is, had you not said in your introductory video that you were 15, you could have got away with particularly knowing that you were 15 in the competition. But the fact that you went, hi, my name's Christopher, something with Canada, and I'm 15 from Glasgow. And it's like, what? but that's all been sorted now. They've got their child protection policy in place.
I'm 16 and 2, or 2.5, or 1.5. I'm
Exactly.
16,
MD watching. Back half of MD's watching. Back half. Just saying. He's only 15. Well, he's back half.
I nearly made a joke there.
You'll have me to answer, mate, and I'll take my wig half. Wait, like a who? Oh.
Right, she's not on. Don't date, no me, don't date. Right, leave you in. I'll take my wig off. That's all I had made. Was like, don't date, Jackie, Jackie, don't date.
This is the modern Glasgow Ned. Back half. Right, should we wrap it up? It's Candy's bedtime. So school day tomorrow. No, it's not Sunday.
Happy?
No, it's Saturday.
Well, it's Sunday.
Well, some of us have got work tomorrow.
I don't.
I do.
I didn't think about that there. That's your fault. You took the overtime.
Get it
Some
well
of us
I
kind of get overtime. So if you've enjoyed yourself and you've got a wee sort of spare bit of your furlough left, feel free to pop it into PayPal. Drop me /the best of girls.
Just so you know, Jackie, this Jackie's jacket is so she can buy more costumes.
No, it's not. I'm selling my costumes.
I've seen her work.
Aye, it's like that's because I'm selling costumes. I need to get more on put up on eBay. I'm selling costumes. Anything that I buy from now on, I know nothing about. So we will be back next week at 7 o'clock. No, we won't. We're back next Saturday, 8 o'clock. Potentially with a guest of an eliminated queen or any queen from Glasgow TikTok, but they might take the pet.
Have you got a drag? Have you got a drag Instagram of that, Candy, that they can go and follow and support?
Yeah.
Or your TikTok?
Yes,
Well, why don't you tell them where it is?
Well, hi. You can get me on TikTok and on Instagram. On TikTok, I am at Candy the Drag Queen, and on Instagram, I am at Everyone Loves Candy. There you go.
There you go.
So yeah, follow someone's commented. I was already.
If you want to catch me, I've got my own radio show on Cumbernauld FM every Tuesday from 12 to 2, or I've got a podcast drag one out there every Monday at 12 o'clock, or you can catch me some Saturdays here when I'm off work. Or I've got a YouTube channel, Drag by Nomi. There's a wee random videos up there for you to watch.
Drive by Nomi?
Drag.
Oh, they said drive. I'm thinking, where the fuck do you ever drive?
I get driven.
That. Oh.
Or you can catch us on The Best of Girls on all social media platforms. Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, The Best of Girls. Give us a like, give us a share, give us a follow.
And stay tuned.
Coming up after the break, how
next
did I accidentally get that toilet dug up my rectum?
Didn't you want to do an after show?
No.
I know you can do that about. I want food in my bed. So we'll be back next Saturday at 8 o'clock. Take care, wear a mask, God bless, we'll see you then. Tatty bye.